All right, good evening, everybody. I'm Powder P, back here with LGCHL Live Bidding Show Night 2. With me tonight, I got Chris from the
Calgary Hitmen.
Calgary Hitmen. Bocasmo from the Kamloops Blazers should be joining us momentarily. Small difficulty on his end, but not a big deal. Lots of stuff happening in bidding so far. It's been crazy couple days. Lots of bidding wars, and now people are starting to back down on their pricing. It's just been one of those days that as a GM, your phone's been blowing up, and you guys know what I'm talking about. For the players, you guys have no idea who's bidding on you, and you're probably just dying to wait for that timer to run out. So we're going to bring up the bidding board here as soon as we get the screen share going. All right. First of all, Chris, what do you? What's the biggest surprise to you so far in bidding?
Honestly, was seeing Brett go for $9 million. I didn't expect anybody to go that high.
I don't think anybody did. I'm not sure if it was a mistake made by the Red Deer Rebels when they upped his bid from 6.5 to 9 right out of nowhere, but the bidding did stop on him, so maybe that was part of their plan. And then the goalies, Barra X29, he's sitting at $8 million right now, and he's still got a solid 9 hours left on his contract, on his bidding timer. Any surprises, as in people that you didn't get that have already been won by other teams?
A lot of the people I looked at, I pretty much have a shot at. There were a lot of guys I definitely wanted to get, but I knew their price was going to be a little bit too high. Perfect example is P. McWaters going to Tri-City. All the scouting he did with me, he looked fantastic, and I really, really, really wanted him, but I just didn't have a chance to get him, unfortunately.
Yeah, and that's a big thing, is you have to make that decision early on, is, what's the cap on you're going to bid on somebody, or if it's going to be one of those things where, you go all out. I mean, like with Breck Easy, looks like they went all out with him, and it's just been just a crazy, crazy day. What's your strategy going into bidding? Have you been trying to hold off, wait a little bit, or are you going in aggressive, trying to fill up your team as quick as possible?
Actually, I did switch it up a little bit this year. Last year, I decided to go heavy on a goalie and bid out. This season, I'm kind of pushing the forwards a little more. I found last year we had a lot of problem putting the puck in the net early in the season, and it wasn't until I made some moves that we were actually able to do that. And while the goalie Archie is currently the GM for Portland this season, while he played really well all season, I think we could have done a little bit better had we been able to push the forwards. So I really went hard on the forwards so far this season, and I'm quite pleased with what I have so far and the prospects I have coming in that I'm winning currently.
Yeah. Now, are you more of a defensive mindset, or do you like to use the build a solid team all around?
I look the all around. Anybody who's seen me play knows I'm power forward straight up. But for the whole team, you got to be able to trust your D-men, and picking up solid D-men is definitely key.
Yeah, from what I saw last year, I think my prediction last year was always that a solid goalie is only as good as his defense. You could have a bag of pucks in net, and if your defense stops the quality shots, everything can be saved. So for me, that was my strategy last year. It kind of paid off. I had to face Kamloops in the playoffs, so somebody had to lose there, and he had the solid squad, so I couldn't really do too much. Now, if you could take anybody in this draft, right, in this bidding process as a player, cost doesn't matter. What's the first name that jumps out in the CHL?
I think I'd just have to go with P. McWaters. Like I said, I really, really wanted him. I was very upset not to be able to get a chance to get him, and $5 million on the D-man was just a little bit too pricey for me. I think it's better spent elsewhere.
Yeah, well, obviously, Tri-City got him for the $5 million. There was a little bit of a hectic bidding war on him, but it was only two teams, so I'm assuming it was you and Tri-City. He had a lot of AHL, NHL experience, dabbed a little bit in there, but if you look at his numbers in the regular season last year, he played rather solid there for the Washington Capitals. Surprised to see him in the CHL, but maybe it's for the right reasons. Maybe he signed up late. All right, we're going to go check out some comments from you guys because I know you guys are probably dying. If you guys comment on the YouTube page, we'll get the updates to you as soon as possible, and we'll try to read them live on the air. All right, what are you drinking over there, Chris?
Arizona tea. Didn't I label out well enough? Do a little repping.
Well, as long as they're paying you for it,
I wish.
Let's see here. All right. Still got the bidding board going. All right, bear with me, guys. I lost my little comment page, but it's had a lot of learning experience today with F5 Penguins, so my show's a little bit different today, so it's not as easy for me to get to the comments. However, it's still very, very simple process. So we'll go to the comments. All right, we got some comments already. First of all, from F5, he's really excited to see the show. I'm sure he's watching right now from his home. Mr. Shadow Hazard, Blades all the way. Obviously, he's a Saskatoon Blade and can't wait. Zach Cook, can't wait to be put on the blast for the 9 mil bid. Obviously, that's Breck Easy. Insane Wolfie MLD got picked up for 7.5 mil for the Oil Kings, and he's happy about it, but looking forward to playing in the AHL next year. Get some shout-outs for personal ones. Nutty Grandpa in here with EA servers are down right now, is what he's saying, so I guess that was my plan, is to shut down the EA servers, and bam, now you guys are watching my show. Keep the comments coming, guys. We'll get back to them as much as we can. Keep them clean, things like that. For those of you that are watching on YouTube, make sure you guys are subscribing, liking, commenting, all that good stuff that gives our videos the attention it needs. The more attention we get in the league, the better off we are in the long run. All right, so let's get back to the bidding board. See who the big names who are expiring right now. All right, we got right winger, Mr. Helljumper. He's only a 500K bid right there, so that might just sneak through. There's also a center slugger 921. He actually played for me last year. I'll tell you right now, that's a solid winger right there. His numbers don't look too great, but I know he had a tough time with availability in the beginning of the season, but towards the end it opened up a little bit more and he was able to play. So whatever team gets a hold of him, congratulations to you. Other than that, there's really no big names. We got the right defenseman, Z-Twisted S, whatever you want to call it. He's going for 5.5 mil. There's 4 teams looking at him. 3 hours, or a little under 4 hours left on him. Wondering if that's going to get sniped at the last second, but who knows? Maybe the GMs are starting to smarten up. Earlier I was talking to Bocasmo, the Kamloops Blazers GM, whatever you want to call him. He was pointing out to me that the bidding war has just been absolutely, completely overblown compared to last year. I disagree with him because I feel that last season there was a lot of newer talent in the league and everybody was kind of unknown. This year there's more people to be seen and they have stats to back it up and a lot of returning players, so therefore we're getting a lot of names that are going for higher prices. Do you think we'll see anybody go for higher than 9 mil, Chris?
Oh, there's no way. There's just no way. And just a quick point on that other one there. I hate to agree with Bocasmo. I really hate to agree with Bocasmo, but this has definitely been a lot worse than last year as far as the bidding wars go. And I think that's largely in part to the fact that for last season, the OHL wasn't around for the bidding. They came in late, so we had a lot less teams trying to bid on players, and I think that plays it's a big impact.
Oh, definitely. I mean, I was, as I said, I was the GM of Everett last year, and I had 2 players that were over the 500K mark, and that was because I needed 2 players left to fill out my roster, and I had about 16 million to play with, so I just kind of threw money around just to kind of get it over and done with. And I know when the expansion happened, we also had a whole bunch of people that got sent over, randomly assigned to those teams from the TCs of the established teams. So obviously those teams were loaded up with a bunch of $500,000 contracts and stuff like that. You also got to keep in mind, if you're looking at last year's contracts at all, it's one of those things that when they got sent down from the AHL, their contract carried over. So it wasn't just CHL GMs bidding on those players. How many players have you won so far?
3 currently.
Who are
you? Well, sure. I have 2 re-signs that I kept from last season in Jack Swaler and Skinner, who is now Scumbag Jared. But the moves I made today, I wish I had a way I could share them with you, show you what I won. I guess you can pull up the roster page.
Yeah, I'm going to pull up the roster right here, and then we'll see. We'll look at other teams after we look at yours.
All the way up top.
All right, Calgary. All right, so Scumbag Jared, he was from last year?
Yep, he changed his gamer tag, but he was a wing for me last season. Right. My AGM, Captain Distracto, we're doing it strong again. Same 2 in management. Let's start with the first one I have there is Bucky 4. Actually, he played for me a couple seasons ago, the first season of the LGIHL, right before the merger happened. He was part of this gold medal winning Team Sweden. And it's actually my brother, so he took last season off. He played D for me then, but I've been working with him a lot in the off season, if you will, at wing, and he's going to be solid there for me.
So do you think would he be on your team even if he wasn't family?
Oh, absolutely. If he sucked and he was family, he wouldn't be on my team.
All right.
He's got plenty of skill.
Maybe some training camp time is in order later on if he doesn't perform.
If he doesn't perform, it'll be cut.
All right. What about Scumbag Jared, he's a keeper. What about I'll let you say his gamer tag.
Stout Lax Swag 03. He was a pickup of my AGM. I never actually had the chance to see him play. He played a few games with Distracto, and he was just glowing about how good he was at putting the puck in the net. And right wing was a problem position for us as far as what we were going to pick up in bidding. And when he mentioned a name that could put the puck in the net, basically he said he reminded him a lot of Showout from last season, who is currently playing in the AHL. So if you can match my leading scorer from last season, I'll have you here all day.
And what about your 2 defenders there, Mac Daddy and Jack?
Jack was one of my re-signs for this season, and Mac Daddy actually, I traded for him at the end of the season last year, and if you pull up his page, you'll
let's see here. Wow, he's got a lot of experience here in the.
Yeah, Jack is a solid player. He started the team as a wing, and when we had a position that needed to be filled at D, he was the first person to step up and say, "I'm your man for the job." And he was really, really solid. Funny guy.
Okay, and the other?
And then Mac Daddy was the guy that I picked up a little bit late. And his record from last season does not reflect his ability. I have no idea how he ended up without a win. I guess we just didn't play with him. The whole time when Mac Daddy was playing, we just couldn't turn it on, I guess, because he got his first win in the playoffs last season.
Yeah, I'm looking at it here. He had that 6-4 win against who'd you got? You guys played Red Deer.
Yeah.
The overpaying Rebels.
Oh yeah. But he played so well in all those games, and we just I don't even know what to say.
Couldn't finish it for him.
Screw the pooch. He played really well, and I'm happy to have him back. I couldn't resign him. He was a prospect, so I had to hope to get him again in bidding, and I have high hopes.
All right, Boca, are you there now?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, you can hear him too there, right, Chris?
Absolutely.
All right, Boca. Let me ask you. First of all, congratulations. You're the you won the Memorial Cup in the CHL Season 3. Tough task. I mean, you had to beat Everett, and that was obviously the biggest challenge in the whole playoff run. Um, for you, honestly, what was the toughest thing about winning the Memorial Cup?
The toughest thing would be for me pacing around my house in games I wasn't playing in. And
Yeah,
my
I remember that feeling as a GM myself. It was one of those things where like I was constantly in a party with other people because I couldn't deal with the game chat of their game because something would go wrong and I'd be like, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? Or they would get mad at each other, and it was kind of funny. It was kind of a joke, but at the same time, I remember those days checking up on everybody's little Xbox Live profile, trying to catch the current score, hoping that number went up forever all the time. Um, when you guys got to the Memorial Cup, did that change any strategy, or did you guys just play your game and hope that everybody else couldn't keep up?
No, that's one of the things I did talk about with all my players was, and I gave, if you had access to my club locker room on the website, I was constantly posting tidbits of information about opponent players that I knew about, scouting reports, stuff like that, which a lot of my guys said it was pretty helpful, in, especially the defenders on how to go against opposing forwards, stuff like that. But for the most part, it was really just a matter of just going out there, having fun, and just doing what we've been doing all year long.
Yeah, I played with a lot of your teammates, whether it's in your one street hockey lobby that you put up every night, or if it's just been in playing against them on the ice. And I'm going to give you all the credit in the world for that. I'm not going to give any of it to Daddy Protein because I truly believe your team improved when you took over.
That's pretty funny that you just said that live. Brown's going to be all over that, you know that.
That's fine. Brown's involved in all the drama, so we'll bring some to his front door as well. So far this year in bidding, what's been the biggest surprise? And you can't say Breck Easy because that's already been taken.
Breck Easy.
No, give me something else. Give me something else. Give the players, the members, something to chat about.
Um,
What else? What else is really getting you? Something about? I know you were talking to me earlier about pricing. What do you think about all that going on?
Yeah, hell yeah. It's definitely I dubbed last night the night of the crazies. Um, I looked at last year's rosters, and if you take a look at them, and you see all the salaries of all the teams from last year, compare it to what took place last night. I mean, I basically collapsed back into my chair and said, "Is this going to get beeped?" Basically, I said, "F it," and I didn't put any bids out. I mean, everyone's just going crazy. I think the only bid I put was on Breck Easy. I think I had a max bid. I'm like, all right, I don't really want to do this, but I put 4-5 on them. And within a half hour or so after playing the game, it was at 9 million. I was like, what the frick is going on? And it went that way with pretty much every player last night and into today.
Oh no, definitely. I mean, I've been watching the boards all day. My phone's been blowing up when when the initial bidding started. The bidding war went up. For those of you who don't know, I'm off the table now. I am now a Spokane chef or chief, or I like to call them the chefs. But the thing about Breck Easy is Breck Easy has a lot of talent. I played with him both club, played against him in league. And he's a tough player to stop. He's got probably one of the best shots at LG. He can snipe the corners from almost anywhere in the offensive zone. That includes behind the net. He's really, really talented. However, I think it's kind of ironic that last year, if anybody remembers the CHL overtime, Breck Easy was one of my co-hosts, and he rode Yager so hard for his 9.75 mil bid, and now he's right behind him, and now he is in the same league as Yager when it comes to overpaying for players. However, who knows? We could see Breck Easy, put up, 120 points this season, and everybody else will be kind of, well, maybe he is worth 9 mil. The only problem is I just don't see him moving up to the AHL. I don't know if he wants to play AHL. He says he does. But some of these guys, I feel like they enjoy the CHL because they feel that they can take advantage of some of the newer members in the league. So far, Boca, this season, this bidding process, who have you won, or have you won any?
I've won one player.
Who was it?
Right defenseman Exton Lyric.
Extant Lyric. And did he play last season?
No, he's new to the LG, but he's not new to Sixes play.
Okay, so did he scout with you, or did you just know him, or?
Well, it's not a matter of scouting with me. He basically played with him for a good part of the last half year. I mean, I know basically his gameplay inside out, and I knew from the beginning, before the end of last season, that he's definitely going to be on my blue line for this season.
All right, and what about who are your returning players? I see Zari's still on there. I know he's an awesome goalie. And Party and Rave and T. Logan. What's up with these guys? Are these guys just solid core members that you want to keep on that roster, or is it?
Zari, number one goalie.
Definitely.
Not to take anything away from D-Tech Stealth. Stealth, how you doing? Zari, if you compare the two numbers together, of course, I'm his GM, and all the teammates feel the same way. Zari should have won the best goalie. But, he's definitely number one goalie material. He should get probably anywhere from 5 to 6 games per week.
All right. If you're watching Zari, you'll get number one on his roster and number one in our hearts. We love you, Zari.
I'll second that.
All right. See, even other GMs are supporting that.
He was fantastic.
Say it again?
He was fantastic last season. He's going to be good again this year. I don't look forward to playing him.
All right, let's get back to some of these comments and see what people are saying about the show and if they have any questions for you guys.
Sure.
Zach Rokes says, also announcing the return of CHL Snapshot, now featuring F5, 709, and Powder P. Moar Boston. I'm not sure if I understand that, but it's one of those things that maybe I will understand soon. Nutty Grandpa coming in with a bingo. I don't know where the bingo goes from, but I'll let it go. Catherine 19ification went for 5.5 mil to the Portland Winterhawks. I'm not familiar with Catherine 19ification. However, I'm sure that player is worth every penny. Let's go back to the bidding board. We're gonna keep the comments coming, guys. It's gonna be still got about a solid 20 minutes left, and we'd love to hear from you guys. If you have any questions for Brown, Bocasmo or Chris, whether you scouted for him, whatever, feel free to ask. They'll answer them right here on the air. Excuse me, I meant to go to the bidding board. All right, let's go see what's some overpriced players here on defense. Let's see, we got some prices.
What are you looking at? Closed?
You can't see because Brown is. I'm sorry, I keep calling you Brown. Same guy though, right? Boca is on a cell phone because lack of webcam right now. He doesn't realize it is 2014.
No, I'm on my computer. And with a headset and a microphone.
All right. We got Chimmy Bum 69. I'm not familiar with him. I don't know if either of you.
I never heard of him.
No.
He's going for 6.2 right now. I'm sorry, he went for 6.2 to Seattle. Not seeing any previous stats, so he was either a ringer that came in late or just a person in front of them that somebody else started bidding up. The Portland Winterhawks this must be Catherinecation or whatever it was, because it was a 5.5 mil to the Portland Winterhawks, but once again, no stats. So a lot of new talent here in the CHL that are getting some high contracts. Not sure if that was the plan or ever, but the big overpriced D-man that sticks out in my eyes has got to be Powder P. Myself, I'm definitely not a $4.5 million D-man. I finished the season with a negative 15 plus minus. So
you know what, Powder? You put in a lot of work, man. I mean, you put hours in. And you're a name brand, dude. Buy the $1 million house, buy the shore house, get yourself a nice jet. I mean, you got a nice increase from last season.
Well, if I was to actually get my $4.5 million, I'd probably upgrade my my media production abilities and probably buy some of this expensive software and all the cool gadgets that some of the other media team members do have and that I'm jealous of.
And you would hook me up with the 2014 gadgets as well. Right?
Probably not, but I might buy you a copy of NHL 15 when that comes out. So what's your strategy right now, Boke? I know you were talking earlier a little bit about kind of stepping back, but what's your game plan for the rest of the week here in bidding?
I've been just kind of watching the bidding boards and seeing the clocks wind down. I'm hesitant to just start throwing bids because every time I've done it on a few players, they immediately get rebid. It's like I've been a big eBay person for many years. So I'm used to sniping and then the auction ending. So this is a bit different for me. Not kind of used to it. Um, but I see a lot of $500,000 players in my future. The way things are going right now. I don't know if that means I'm going to roll through players through training camp or what, but
All right. Well, my question to you would be then, if you have a player that was being bid on, that you knew you wanted, and you had no intention of bidding on him till the last day, would you go in there and fight with the other GM, or would you just let it sit and wait and see?
I know I would absolutely do something like that. I mean, it's if we get down to the final slots on my team, and I need to fill some space, and I got the salary to do it, then hell yeah. I mean, if it's going to be prolonged into Friday, Saturday, Sunday to get some players to fill the roster, then yeah, we'll do that.
All right, and we're going to take a look at some goalies here and see what. Well, obviously we know some of the high profile names here on goalie. Barra X29 still got 8 hours and 45 minutes left. Big Bad Wolf MLD, $7.5 million to the Edmonton Oil Kings.
Unfamiliar.
Do you know him?
No, unfamiliar with him. Don't know who he's. Obviously a new player, probably someone that several players know about him from another league. I mean, you're not going to get that kind of money if a couple people don't know about you.
Yeah, I said it last night, but I'll tell you right now. Other leagues, I mean, it's really hard to compare the two because I'm telling you, it's a different environment and a whole different monster when you come here. I've played in other leagues and been a top D-man, a candidate for Norris trophies, and it's definitely not the same when I'm here because I'll tell you right now, I'm constantly doing everything I can to get better and to be up there with some of the better D-men. And I didn't just stay in the CHL to be part of media. No, I was in NHL and AHL bidding. I scouted for AHL teams as much as I could, and I just didn't make the cut. So I'm well aware that that does happen. Suck It Donnie, he's Saskatoon Blade. I'm familiar with Suck It Donnie only because he has sent me a friend request, 14 messages, private chat invites, and Xbox Live messages in the last 24 hours. So I'm fairly familiar with him. He's got no stats. I believe I played a scouting game with him, and solid goalie. $5.5 million might be a little much, but it could pay off in the end.
I believe I scouted him as well, but here's the thing: when I get one player to come and do one game, chances are, and this is for all future people coming into the league as well. I mean, you got 42 teams in the CHL. It's hard to scout with 42 teams, let alone give them more than one game. But as a GM, a lot of people say it's who you know. You're only bidding on the players that you've played with or friends that you know. But that's not that true. As long as players are scouting a lot with other teams. If you only come in and do one game, and this is the problem I have, not that I've been able to bid on Suck It Donnie. I got Zari and net. So, I mean, I'm looking for a backup that's going to be fairly cheap. And, you can't – it's hard to put a bid on a player when you see him one game.
Right. No, and that's – I know a lot of teams do like a callback system where they call back their people that are scouting for them, things like that. But
yeah, I've done that too. But some players are just they move on to the next scouting lobby or the next lobby after that, and they'll be like, "Oh, we'll catch up with you in a couple days," and they never do, and you forget about it.
All right. Here's a name that kind of just stuck out to me on the goalie section was Professor Oak. His name, he's obviously been around a lot. He played for Kelowna last year, but $1 million seems rather cheap, especially for a guy with an avatar and all Canadians gear. Maybe he's injured too. Poor Montreal, trying to do it without Carey Price, but Professor Oak numbers are not great, but they're definitely something that can be worked with, and he's definitely an awesome CHL goalie that with some more improvement and a solid defense in front of him, I know he can be probably a top 5 goalie in this league.
Wasn't he your backstop last year, Silver Tip?
No, he was Kelowna last year.
Kelowna, okay.
He had 33 regular season games and 3 playoff games. He went 17, 13, and 3 in the regular season with a 71.3% save percentage and a 4.45 goals against.
Yeah, I've looked at his stats. I'll be honest with you. I mean, he's the type of player to, I don't know if he wants #1 net minding duties, but he's the kind of player, salary-wise, that I could put in behind Zari.
Right, and and I always tell people that the goals against average is probably one of the hardest stats to actually make an opinion off of. Towards the end of games and defenses start falling apart, trying to play overly aggressive, trying to play catch-up, teams let up, tough goals or breakaway goals and stuff that the goalies just kind of left out to dry. Because if you look at his season 2 stats, he played for the Saginaw Spirit there. He went 8-12-3, but he had a 2.5 goals against. So obviously he had a better defense in front of him, but his offensive production for that team was just lacking.
That's true.
So, any thoughts on that, Chris?
I took a look at him, and as soon as I saw the Canadiens gear, I turned it right off. Nah, I'm just kidding. No, he was pretty solid last season. I don't know. I don't know why I didn't pull the trigger on him, but I'm not one of the ones in the running for him.
All right.
If I could just throw this out there, I'm glad the league did step forward and allow CHL to do some re-signs. I know they put the hammer down, saying that it could only be veterans only, no prospects, which really put some GMs behind the 8 ball with that. But I'm going to say that I was fortunate to be able to re-sign Zari, because the prices that obviously all these teams need a #1 goalie. I just feel extremely fortunate to be able to get Zari at the price I did on a re-sign, because there's a number of goalies that I would have bid on, but not at those prices. I can't do it. I can't justify it.
Definitely. Trying to get these comments to catch up. There's been a lot of comments since we last updated. Question for Powder P: if F5 signs to be on a radio show, would you join? In a heartbeat. I love. Today was my first voice interaction with F5, and nothing. I felt that everything flowed good there. It wasn't like one of those awkward conversations where you didn't know what to say. We always had something. Roy Kingston throwing out J. Marquette 69, who hasn't gotten a bid yet. I've played with Marquette. I believe he's a winger. He's a solid, 1.5 million player, maybe not too much more than that. You got Legacy 23 for MVP. It's from Devin McGilvery. I'm not sure if that is Legacy or if that's just somebody trying to throw that out there. Slamcoast 91 for $4.5 million to the Edmonton Oil Kings. What does Bo Casmo think of that?
Slamcoast was paired with Watergun last year, and I'm very familiar with Watergun. Watergun is probably one of the best hitters ever. All right. Does he put his team out of position at times if he makes those crazy hits? Yeah, but then when you paired him with Slamcoast, those two became the dynamic freaking duo.
Yeah, I remember those two led the league in hits all throughout the season, but I believe this season Watergun went into the AHL.
Yeah, Watergun went AHL last year as well, but he went back down. And then he got drafted this year. He went 86th overall, and he's in the NHL. But maybe he went back down to the AHL. I don't know.
Hey, just a little secret. Neither of them led the league in hits last season. I did.
No. As a tandem, though, as a defensive pairing, they led the league in hits. Myself and J-Rod is awesome. We were right behind him, but I think me and him combined led the league in PIMS last season. So that was an interesting.
Hey, Powder, you have some ringers in this chat box here. Zach Cook, come on, we got to take that guy out back into an alleyway.
Oh, I mean, well, you guys know that's Breck Easy. He says Zari should not have won best goalie. Well, I can't say that he should or shouldn't have. However, he's definitely in the conversation. From Nutty Grandpa, I don't think it matters what the cap is. People are always going to drive up the price. Breck Easy comes in with another comment. Boca has a cup from last season. Brown doesn't.
Is that Breck Easy also? Zach Ropes and Zach?
Oh, I'm sorry. That's not Zach. That's Sev. Excuse me.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. Too many Zachs, and they're all spelt weird, not with a K.
It's a lot of comments, dude.
Oh, the comments have been coming in a lot. I think we got over quite a few actually. Everybody wants to know $4.25 million for Call a Noodle. Somebody, and they want to know is who do you think the idiot is that made that bid?
I will say this to Breck specifically. Call of Noodle was actually scouted and touted by the NHL GMs.
Now, is that factual or is that coming from a friend?
No, that's factual. I've been privy to a few scouting lists from NHL GMs. Not going to name names, but he was amongst not only scouting games but on their scout reports.
Why isn't he there is my question.
Didn't make the cut. Maybe next year he will. Maybe he needs to prove some stuff. I don't know.
All I'm saying, getting high marks in the NHL level, you'd think he'd at least be in the AHL. I don't know him at all, so I can't really say. But
well, Chris, to just not to rebut you, but I think there's going to be a lot of roster movement between the AHL and CHL this year.
that's fair.
Because I think a lot of AHL GMs may have put bids out there on players, and then when they see their performances, they may waive them and bring up other players.
All right, next question. It's from Rob Massimi. It says, because of the expansion involving the Q and the OHL, do you think salary cap should be raised? Or if it is raised, do you think that people would go mad with bids like now?
Chris, go ahead. You go first, man.
No, I think it's fine where it is. There's a lot of things that people are trying to change, but I think the way we did it last season was just fine, and we may as well keep it the same way.
If I'm correct me if I'm wrong, I think the cap is it 9 mil or 11 mil?
Well, I think we're talking about the team salary, which is the 25 mil.
Oh yeah, that's fine. I got no problem with that.
Well, yeah, I don't have any problem with that. The problem I have is it's definitely not with the cap. The big problem I have is the option to not be called up. I feel that's how the Ottawa 67s got most of their success last year, because their whole team stayed on the hot list that the league provides every week for the majority of the season, and then they flopped in the playoffs. I'm not sure if it's correct, but my theory is their stars refused to be called up all season long, and then once the playoffs came, they wanted to go play for their AHL counterparts, and basically crippled their team into a 1 loss and then a 3 forfeit sweep against them to get knocked out of the playoffs. And it's really embarrassing if that happens to you. I mean, I'll be the first one to tell you, my training camp wasn't the most active training camp. That I kept them active, I kept them moving, I kept them doing something to keep them involved in order to make sure that we didn't have an AHL call-up day and get screwed there.
Oh, I see Hilton there in the middle of your screen. There's an ex-Blazer right there.
Hiltonian?
Yeah, he shared duties with Zari most of the season. When the final week and the playoffs got here, his availability went downhill because of work. He ended up getting game 1 of every series, and that was it. If you look at that, you'll see only 7 games played. He was phenomenal in the games he played. But yeah, whoever's getting him, I mean, he's definitely number 1 goalie, and at the price right now, it's better than some of the guys that went before him.
Yeah, for just under $2 million right now.
Look at his regular season right there. I mean, he's got 6 games with Tri-City and then 25 with me. And look at his record on the
Blaze. His overall stat line, and he's got 25 games played with 19-4-2, with a 75 save percentage, and a 2.89 goals against. I mean, it doesn't get much better than that, especially for a backup goalie.
Yeah, if you look at you can see how much he increased his gameplay. Either that or the defense was just so much better in the playoffs. His save percentage went up almost 500 points. That's huge.
All right, we're gonna do one last check on the expiring bids, and then we're gonna see if anything coming up. We got 30 minutes for Hell Jumper, 30 minutes for Slugger 921.
Yeah, it's in a little bit of a lull now. Take advantage for sure.
Yeah, I mean, don't be afraid to bid on these guys. Don't let teams just walk away, because right now what's happening is some guys are getting bid up for no reason, and other guys that are good are getting are flying under the radar for $500,000. So
can I talk about the salary cap thing one more? Just something, not salary cap for the team, but salary cap for players.
Yes, you may. You got a minute and a half.
Okay. I think the salary cap for players is 11 mil on a 25 mil cap per team. That's excessive. If you I'm not an economics major, but if you look at the NHL, it's a 70 mil cap. It's like 12 mil cap per player. if you break that down, it's like 17% of the NHL. I mean, if you're going to model yourself realistically, if you do that, you take that 17% of what the max player is for an NHL team, and put it right here. Your max salary for these players in the CHL should be 4.5, maybe 5 million, and you would avoid issues of 9 million on guys like Breck Easy, which really just takes a lot of oomph out of it.
Yeah, my big concern for that is especially for Red Deer now this year, is that they now have to figure out where they can slack on the talent in order to make up for Jay Dizzy's. I'm sorry, looking at Jay Dizzy's name here, making up for Breck Easy's huge contract, and hopefully he can carry a whole line by himself. Which in the CHL, I haven't seen a player yet. Well, last year they could carry a game by himself and expect to come out on top 90% of the time. In theory, Breck Easy's line, whenever he does play, if they don't win, if he loses a single game this year, you now become an overpriced player at $9 million. I mean, it's almost half of their salary cap, and it's just a ridiculous price. But we're done with Breck Easy. We're not going to talk about Breck Easy anymore.
Okay.
Actually, it's about all the time we do have for tonight. But we will be back tomorrow night. Chris, any final thoughts?
No, I just want to wish everybody good luck this season. I've had some fun bidding here and can't wait to get to play.
And Boke?
Wow, I see you without a hat. That's a first.
I know, it's weird.
No, same with what Chris just said, man. That's a lot. I'm looking forward to the season, man. Just getting out there, taking out some knees. Just having some good games.
No, I agree. I'm really excited. I mean, as I tell people this all the time, I'm here to have a really good time and play competitively. If I lose every game but I played my best, yeah, it's a miserable time, but it's still a lot of fun. For everybody else, let me just say, first of all, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and click subscribe so you can catch all the updates from LeagueGaming.com. We'll be posting videos all week with the bidding shows. They'll be live every night at 9:15. You can find them here the way you did. Tell your friends if you know people that are playing in the CHL. Tell them to come watch. It's a good way to get involved with the league and start putting some faces to names and start understanding how some of these players think. And since this week we're bringing on all GMs, if you're a regular player, don't contact me trying to get on this show, only because it's not fair for one player to get on and not another. So that's why I've limited it to just GMs and league officials only, because they're already established on who they are, where they're playing, and stuff like that. And that's pretty much it, guys. So once again, tomorrow night, 9:15. See you there.